as I've gotten older, I'm starting to realize like more and more how important this actually is. And I think that's kind of the nice thing about doing it when you're younger, because then as you go older and older, you actually realize the importance of this.
Welcome to the PM Podcast, brought to you by DonorSearch, the show that takes you inside the lives of thought leaders, innovators, and changemakers in fundraising, philanthropy, and civil society. I'm your host, Jay Frost. Javi Swinarski is a junior at Gilmour Academy and one of 2 recipients of the 2025 William R. Sims Award for Outstanding Youth in Philanthropy, presented by the Association of Fundraising Professionals. Javi launched his annual SOCKtober sock drive in the 4th grade after learning that socks are the most requested item in homeless shelters. Since then, he has mobilized classmates, local organizations, and national partners to collect and distribute tens of thousands of pairs of socks, including more than 22,000 pairs in 2024 alone. We spoke with him live at ICON, AFP's international conference in Seattle, Washington.
My name is Javi Swinarski. I'm currently a student at Gilmour Academy located in Gates Mills, Ohio, in Cleveland. I'm currently class of 2026.
Class of 2026. Well, that's exciting. So not too much time before graduation.
No, I got 2 more years at Gilmour. I believe this would be 12 or 13 years at Gilmour. I've pretty much been there since Montessori.
Oh, really?
So,
wow. Okay, I know we're going to talk about other things, but what is it like going to one school where you probably know almost everybody and you've known them through this whole period of time when you're like becoming who you are today?
Well, first, I think the biggest thing is just seeing the school change throughout all the years, because our school has like a lower or elementary, and then we have a middle and upper school. So I think the biggest change that I've seen is through the lower school. And with my sock drive, which we'll probably get to later, I always go down there every year for about 2 weeks. And I always see there's always something they changed. Either it's between the teachers or some renovations.
Sure.
But it's always so fun to see the new atmosphere. And I think that's the one thing I enjoy. But when it comes to the middle and upper school, not a whole lot has changed. We actually our school just recently renovated our cafeteria just because there's so many more students now. They needed a bigger cafeteria.
So let's talk about the drive. You're here because you've been recognized by AFP. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell me about the project, what they're recognizing you for.
If I'm correct, they are recognizing me for the sock drive in total, not just what I've collected so far, which we've collected about 60,000, just from a rough estimate. But pretty much the drive is just mainly it's like 2 weeks in October, usually the first 2 weeks, and I contact my school and other local businesses and churches, and we usually run through the Father Michael Whitnam Ozanam Center. I'm forgetting where that is. I feel like I should know that by now. But we collect socks for the homeless, and then once those 2 weeks are over, we donate it to places like the Michael Whitnam Center, Northeast Ohio Coalition for the Homeless, and other parishes or local shelters that need them. Actually, this year we just donated I believe it was around 5,000 to the hurricane victims in North Carolina. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So what was the origin, the genesis of this? What made you want to do it in the first place?
It was actually from a 4th grade religious trip to John Carroll University, where we were making blankets for the homeless.
Making blankets?
We were making blankets.
How were you making these blankets?
Well, they gave us little cloths, and then they would stitch them, and then we would tie them in little knots after putting some stuffing in them, so they would be nice and warm. But before we did all this, and actually during it too, they were talking about the most requested items and why it's important to take care of these people. And I remember they were saying one of the most requested items were socks. And I remember sitting there, I was like, why socks? That's the easiest thing you could get. So after the trip, I was talking to my parents. I was like, how come socks are the most requested thing? Why can't I do something about this? My parents, they were very helpful when we were talking to school, to get a drive started, because I guess I was like really determined to get this started. I was like, I can do this. I want to collect socks for the homeless. So that first year, it was 2 weeks, and we collected about 500. And I kid you not, I felt like I was on top of the world collecting 500.
And it's 500 pairs, obviously.
500 pairs, yes.
Not just one sock. Okay, but take us back to when you first kind of made this discovery on your own that there was socks needed. Why? Why is that important? Why are socks needed? For those who haven't been through this journey with you.
Well, I think the most important thing is from the 9 years I've been doing this, and also just from personal research, I feel like socks are one of the key things of keeping you warm. I don't think people realize that. Like, yeah, of course, clothes, but especially socks, because your feet are probably the closest to the floor, so they're probably going to be the one of the parts of your body that are going to be most sensitive to temperature. Mm-hmm. And usually when your feet are cold, you're cold, as I like to say.
Yeah, it's true. So I didn't realize this is 9 years of running for you now.
Yes. Or 8 years. 8 years. It'll be 9 next year.
How old were you when you started collecting all these socks?
I think I was about 7 or 8, if I remember correctly. I'm doing the math at least.
And so what has that process been like for you? I mean, especially because other people who might listen to this and hear your story might think, well, I'd like to do something too. But they are often thinking about it at a point where they've got kind of established routine. But when you're 7 or 8, you don't necessarily have the routine, except maybe going to school and coming back.
Right, yeah.
So what was it like for you initially? And then how did you decide to keep doing it like this for 8 years?
Well, the initial intent was just to collect it, be a one-time thing. But I was like, this is kind of fun to do. I want to keep doing this every year. And as I've gotten older, I'm starting to realize like more and more how important this actually is. And I think that's kind of the nice thing about doing it when you're younger, because then as you go older and older, you actually realize the importance of this. So I think that's just a beautiful thing.
It feels like it's more important even now to you than it was before?
Oh yeah, way more important now than before.
Why is that?
I just don't think I understood it when I was younger, because I was like, it's fun to collect a bunch of socks and then donate them all.
Sure.
But I never really understood like how big of a deal like that actually is in homelessness in general. It's pretty bad. It's gotten better over the years, but that doesn't mean we should stop or decrease our efforts. We should keep striving more and more to end homelessness entirely.
Do you have a sense about that now, maybe greater than you did when you were even younger, thinking about homelessness and the things we're doing to address it? I mean, I don't know how much you see it in your community versus what we see on television, for example. Sometimes we're close to a situation we want to address. Sometimes it seems far away. So what's your kind of your exposure to homelessness, and what are some of the things that you're hearing that people can do in addition to providing essential clothing so that people can stay warm?
I actually have a story, because the Father Michael Wyndham Autism Center, they bring in volunteers to help, because it's like a whole, like, I guess a quote-unquote shopping spree, but not really shopping. Everything's free there.
So people who are unhoused can come in and get what they need?
Yeah, if I remember the process correctly, they give them like giant trash bags, and they're like, take as much as you desire. I'm forgetting if there's a time limit. I don't think so, because they're usually out quick. But there's a whole bunch of stuff there, like accessories, toiletries, clothing, blankets. I think I've seen a mattress there before. But there's also toys, books.
Which is essential, but I'm now imagining people who have no transportation trying to carry out clothing, let alone a mattress.
Yeah, but I actually volunteer there every now and then. Yeah. But the one day I was there, there was this young lady. I think she had 2 daughters with her, and she was needing a queen size bed sheet, and I guess it's kings and queens that run out very quickly. So usually they're only left with like twins. I'm forgetting the other size of bed sheets. It's blanking, but they were like looking and they just couldn't find any more. They were running out, so they only had like a few left. And of course, the two daughters are in the little kids section looking for books that they wanted. But I remember they had like one queen size bed sheet left, and they gave it to her, and you could just see it in the lady's eyes. Like, she was so happy, she was so thankful. I'll never forget that story.
Yeah. What kind of feeling does that bring out in you? What do you?
It warms my heart just because you're helping people. I mean, I feel like a lot of my motivation for this drive is to help people get out of that little poverty circle. I mean, poverty circle is not a good terminology for it, but like,
well, some kind of, I guess it's something that just like a circle, right? It's a cycle that's very difficult to break out of once you're in it, and having essentials is key. I mean, if you don't have those, I don't know how you can.
Right. Yeah. I feel like most people take those kind of small necessities for granted. Like, I don't feel like people realize that. Like, if you're homeless, you're probably not gonna have socks. That's like the least of your concerns. Probably, besides money, clothing would probably be one of your bigger concerns, and socks would be out of the question.
So where are you taking this now? Because you're a junior?
Yes.
Right? So what do you imagine as you get into your senior year and beyond in terms of this work, but maybe even other kinds of activities where, you obviously have a heart for this, where you'd like to place your time and your energy?
I would hope to do this in college and even beyond college as well, but thankfully, I actually have someone who's willing to take over the drive once I graduate from Gilmour. She's currently in 7th grade, and once I'm out, she'll be a freshman. And for this upcoming SOCKtober, she's actually going to be helping a lot for this drive. Yeah,
I'm glad you said that because I hadn't. That's a great way of thinking about this. Sure, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
But yeah, she's going to help me a lot this year, so she can get the gist of it when I'm gone. And hopefully, when that drive starts the year I'm gone, hopefully I can come back down for a day or two to announce it to them. So I still plan to at least contribute to my drive at Gilmour, but of course, I'm not sure how well I'll be able to do it, especially when I'm at college. But
right. Do you have plans already for college?
I mean, not necessarily which college, but I'm looking into computer science. I'm not sure if I want to go down the AI route or if I want to go down software development. Still a little unsure, but I'm sure it'll all line up within the next few months.
And then I know that this has been very connected to your school, where you've spent so much of your life so far. But in terms of the work, doing kind of charitable work, if you want to call it that, what role do you think that'll have in your life going forward beyond SOCKtober? I mean, do you imagine that it's going to be a continuing part of what you do?
I think so. I mean, I'd hope to do something even beyond college, or at least like volunteer somewhere just for charitable work. I just hope people understand like how important like these kind of things are. Because like I said, people take stuff for granted and they don't realize how good they have it compared to other people.
Maybe I should ask you this. There are a lot of people who they see something, it affects them, but they're not sure how to stop sitting on their hands and get up and do something. They don't necessarily have a SOCKtober at their school, or at least not yet. What advice do you have for young people? You can pick the age group who want to make a difference and they're not sure how to start.
I'm actually going to probably take this perspective to children. Because like children, they want to do something, but they don't know how to start it. So what I would say is, like, ask your parents or guardians or any like any adult that you would think would be able to help with your questions or with like your concerns or any way to start something up. Because I knew I wasn't going to be able to start on my own. My parents knew that too. That's why we went to our school principal, and he was more than happy to help. But I think the big thing is just, if you want to make a change, you one person is more than capable of doing it. But it's always better with help.
Well, that's it for this episode of the PM Podcast. You can learn more about AFP and its annual awards and honorees at afpglobal.org. Our thanks to our sponsor, DonorSearch, the world leader in AI-powered fundraising intelligence solutions for the nonprofit world. Our producer is Jack Frost, and our theme music is Moving Out, Moving In by Jay Taylor, and is provided courtesy of Epidemic Sound. If you like what you heard, make sure to subscribe wherever you like to listen. Check out our sister shows, Frontlines of Social Good and How to Raise, and come back next weekend for another conversation with a leader in the world of social good. Until then, this is Jay Frost. Thanks for joining me.